Hello and welcome to today's May 12th daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus check information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on President Biden, what's going on in Washington, D.C., the economy, and stimulus check programs. All right, now later today, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, Chuck Schumer, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will be having one of the most important meetings of 2021 at the White House with President Joe Biden to discuss the state of the economy and the two new proposed infrastructure spending bills, the Build Back Better plan and the American Families Plan. Both parties agree that infrastructure spending in the United States is a must, but neither can agree on the definition of infrastructure and the amount of debt that should be taken on in order to get the infrastructure rebuilt here in the United States. At a minimum, Republicans want to spend around $600 billion. At a maximum, Democrats want to spend around $4.1 trillion. Republicans say there is no more room for excessive debt in our national budget, and infrastructure should be about infrastructure and creating new jobs. Democrats say infrastructure has a much more broad definition, and we still have room to take on debt in our economy. Today, they will also be discussing whether to raise the corporate tax rate to 28% and how to raise taxes on American citizens. President Joe Biden has promised not to raise taxes on any American citizen that makes less than $400,000 per year, but he hasn't promised not to remove the Trump tax cuts, which helped most American families that make less than $100,000 a year. Some worry that raising taxes on businesses right now will make them less competitive, while at the same time demanding these same businesses pay higher wages to their workers. This could be a squeeze on both ends that ends up hurting the American economy. Today, we will also gain more insight on the social infrastructure side of the two infrastructure spending bills. Will they extend unemployment or revamp unemployment completely like some members of Congress want to see? Will they implement automatic stabilizers that kick in with stimulus checks or unemployment during when we hit certain key performance indicators in the economy? Will we see a fourth stimulus check of $600 or $1,200 or $1,400 or $2,000? We don't know yet, right? That's what's going to be discussed in today's big White House meeting. Now, Senator Chuck Schumer has attached his name to a bill that would go for one more $2,000 fourth stimulus check. Nancy Pelosi has not attached her name to any new fourth stimulus check bills that are being proposed, but has heavily praised stimulus checks in the past. Both Republican leaders say the focus right now needs to be on creating jobs. So there is much to be discussed in today's White House meeting. Biden says he's willing to hear both sides, and he's also willing to make compromise. What he's not willing to do is do nothing for the American people. Pelosi says she is confident these bills will pass and they will change America and create millions of higher paying jobs. Now, one reason that Pelosi is so confident is that they can use the reconciliation bill 2 more times in order to pass any bill they please related to money without any support from Republicans. So that may be part of her confidence moving forward, or she may be confident that she will be able to sway Republicans to her opinion and her vision for the future of the United States. The Treasury Department and the U.S. Mint have announced the mints are ready to get back to work, creating new coins so that we never have a shortage of coins in America ever again. It was announced today that there will be a new series of quarters that will roll out over the next 4 years. The new program is being called the American Women Quarters Program. Janet Yellen and her team will create a lineup of women who have made an incredible impact here in the United States. They plan to have women from various backgrounds such as history, science, government, and the arts. They've also committed to ensuring the women honored will be from ethnically, racially, and geographically diverse backgrounds. The first two coins announced will have African-American poet Maya Angelou and Sally Reid, the first female astronaut. The front of the coin will feature new artwork of our first president, George Washington. So these new coins will be rolling out over the next 4 years. Now, back on July 5th of 2016, I actually wrote an article that Harriet Tubman should be featured on the $2 bill, as well as the signing of the Declaration of Independence. As of right now, that has not happened, but I wrote that article and I stand by it. But this is a move in a great direction. So I'm excited to see some women featured on the American currency. Now, a fun fact, did you know that it is against the law to put a living person on U.S. currency? This is why the U.S. Mint and Treasury have done nothing for President Obama or President Trump or many other noteworthy leaders that are still alive today. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much for always liking these videos. Yesterday, you gave my video over 30,000 likes. I really appreciate that. It's a lot of hard work to do this research by myself, but I just love bringing my community the news. All right, now this morning it was announced that Representative Liz Cheney from Wyoming was voted out of her leadership position in Washington, D.C. during a regularly scheduled GOP meeting. So far, the only Republicans that have come to her defense are the same representatives that also voted to impeach President Trump in the House of Representatives. Republican Senator Ernst said ousting Liz Cheney was the very cancel culture Republicans say they are fighting against. Former GOP House Representative Paul Mitchell said he thinks this was a political move. It appears Republicans have a real shot at taking back the House in 2022, and if they do, Kevin McCarthy is setting himself up to take over Nancy Pelosi's Speaker of the House position. It seems the divide between Democrat leaders and Republican leaders continues to grow. The message coming from the Democrat Party is that Republicans want to destroy democracy, while Republican leaders say Democrats are trying to rewire democracy to their advantage. Right now, there is a fierce debate going on in the Senate on whether there should be federal rules that control future presidential elections in our country. H.R. 1 is a Democrat-backed bill to manage presidential elections on a federal level. Republicans say each state should have their own governing laws and rules, as each state in the United States is very, very different. I'd be very curious to hear from my community. Do you think that presidential elections should be managed on a federal level, or should it be done state by state? Please let me know your opinion in the comments. Yesterday, there was a showdown on the Senate floor between Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Schumer said Republicans want to limit voting ability by requiring voter ID and blocking the ability to vote by mail. Schumer said requiring ID to vote carries a stench of oppression, or in other words, his opinion is that voter ID is oppressive. McConnell then said, our democracy is not in crisis, and we're not going to let one party take over our democracy under the false pretense of saving it. The Democratic Party wants to rewrite the ground rules of American politics for partisan benefit. I won't cover more, as this was a multiple-hour debate that went on and on and on, but just to give you an idea of what each party is saying on the topic. Now, Republicans are asking for around 100 minor changes to the H.R. 1 bill before they'll consider hearing it, while Schumer says he will bring the bill to the floor as is for a vote. The debate on voter ID is interesting because the majority of states right now already require voter ID. As I mentioned yesterday, England announced just yesterday that some form of photo ID will be required for all future elections. Now, Major League Baseball pulled the All-Star games out of Georgia, along with $100 million in revenue to the state of Georgia, over a change in requiring voter ID. But interestingly enough, they moved it to the state of Colorado, which already requires voter ID. So there's a lot of battle going on in the country. Now, Senator Sanders and Representative Jayapal are teaming up to fight for older Americans. They want to expand Medicare, lower the age required to receive Medicare benefits, and include more benefits in the program, such as hearing aids, vision care, and dental care. Sanders gave one example of why he's willing to fight this fight. He said 75% of seniors with hearing loss can't afford hearing aids in America, and this has to stop. This is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. I'll be rolling out my new giveaway. I've just been putting it in place. I've got a bunch of great sponsors lined up so that I can help you guys save money, learn about great companies, and also I can share money with those that are still in need in our community. Now, before you go, I just wish to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.